Do you constantly set goals and then find yourself doing things which completely undermine your own progress? You will want to watch this video to the end to find out why you are your own worst enemy and how you can finally overcome self-sabotage and achieve those goals. I'm so glad that you're here. Please make sure that you subscribe down below, hit the notification bell to be reminded of when I post new videos every single Tuesday. If you are trying to lose weight, get out of debt, break a habit, maybe start a new relationship, and you keep doing things that get in your own way, I will have a special resource available at the end of this video for you that will help you to dig in to what those unconscious barriers are that are getting in your way. My name is Cass. I'm a psychologist, I'm a coach, meditation teacher, and I help people overcome the barriers that get in the way of truly living their best lives. I'm the host of the Crappy to Happy podcast, the author of the Crappy to Happy books, and I have helped thousands and thousands of people to get over themselves, to remove the barriers, and to finally start having the success and the happiness in life that they truly deserve. And that is what I want for you as well. So let's talk about self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is basically anything that you do that gives you a built-in excuse to fail. And I know that sounds completely illogical, but there is an unconscious reason why you might be doing this, and that's what we're going to dig into in this video. I believe that there are three main reasons that people self-sabotage their own progress. If you think about an iceberg sitting in the ocean, the part of the iceberg that is visible above the waterline, that's like your conscious mind. It's only about 10% of all of your mental capacity and all of your thoughts and all of your drives, motivators, beliefs, fears, everything else. 90% is under the surface and out of your conscious awareness. So what's happening is with your conscious mind, you're saying, this is what I want to do, this is what I want for my life, this is what I'm going to achieve. But then what you don't realize is that under the surface, there's all of this other stuff going on. And until you can dig into that, it will run interference. It will get in your way. It's easy enough to bring it up to the surface once you know how to do that. Until you do, you will just keep shooting yourself in the foot. So let's dive into what is going on underneath the surface. The first one, I believe, is fear. We all experience fear. Now, again, some of that fear we're very conscious of. There's certain things that feel scary for you, but there's also a lot of stuff underneath the surface, fears that may be out of your conscious awareness. Now, the big ones, of course, that people talk about are fear of success and fear of failure. So let's talk about those for a start. If you're afraid of failure, you might think, well, that doesn't make any sense because as long as I keep getting in my own way, I continue to fail. The thing is, as long as you keep giving yourself excuses to fail, you can continue to tell yourself that maybe if you'd tried harder, maybe if you'd really given it 100% effort, then you would have succeeded. So you see, what you're doing is you're giving yourself this built-in excuse to fail, which means that you can tell yourself that if you hadn't have got in your own way, if you hadn't have done that thing that you shouldn't have done, then maybe you would have succeeded. Maybe next time you will succeed. And it's a form of self-protection. You're protecting your sense of self. You're protecting your sense of self-belief by being able to convince yourself that if you weren't self-sabotaging, that you could actually have a chance to achieve that goal. And of course, it's completely illogical because meanwhile, all that you're doing is actually causing yourself to fail. So you want to uncover fear of failure. The other one is fear of success. And again, people say, well, why would I be afraid of the very thing that I want to achieve? So what you have to do is you have to dig under the surface and try to work out if there is any perceived negative consequence to achieving your goal. So let's have a think about that. If what you say you want is to get into a committed relationship, but under the surface you've got a fear of intimacy, a fear of rejection, a fear of losing your independence or losing your freedom, well, then there's a fear of success. There's a fear of actually achieving what you say you want to achieve because you perceive that there's all of these negative consequences. If you say that you want to lose weight and get fit, but underneath the surface, there's a fear of drawing attention to yourself or a fear of people thinking that you're shallow or vain or a fear of unwanted sexual attention, then that will run interference. Similarly, you might want to achieve big goals for your business, but you have an unconscious fear that then it would be too stressful, there'd be too much responsibility. We have all of these old ideas. It's a lot of this limiting belief kind of stuff going on, which causes us to be afraid of the very thing that we say that we want to achieve. And so you've got to do some digging to see, what are those old beliefs? Like, what are the stories that you're telling yourself, or what are the old unconscious fears or limitations that are getting in the way of you truly making progress and truly taking action towards achieving that goal? And the other fear is just fear of change. Our brains are basically wired to keep us exactly where we are. Our brains like habit, they like familiar, they don't like anything new and different. And so if you have been living a certain way or behaving a certain way in your life up until a certain point, and you want to move out of that, you want to achieve something bigger for yourself or something different, your brain is going to be working very hard to keep you stuck where you are. It doesn't like change. So, that's just a case of becoming aware of that and pushing through that resistance, that procrastination, all of that stuff that you're doing that is really designed. It's your brain's way of keeping you exactly where you are. Now, if you've had a little light bulb go off and you've just suddenly realized, what your fear is, what your fear of failure is, what your fear of success is, or you've suddenly just realized what the negative consequence is to achieving your goal, put it in the comments below. Let's share it. So that's fear. The second reason I believe that people sabotage their own success is worthiness. Basically, we all have limited ideas about what we are worthy of or what we are capable of. And if you want something for yourself, but deep down you don't feel deserving of that, what happens is your brain is working all of the time. Again, your brain wants to stay with what's familiar. The other thing that your brain's very good at doing is making sure that what you think lines up with what you do and what you achieve. So what your brain is doing all of the time is making sure that there is alignment between the ideas that you have, the thoughts that you have, the attitudes, the beliefs, and what you're creating in your outside world. If those things don't line up, if there is a dissonance, you've heard of the term cognitive dissonance, if there is a difference between your thoughts or beliefs or attitudes and your actions or what you're actually creating in your external world, rather than adjust your belief to fit your external circumstances, rather than upgrade your belief and say, maybe she is capable of that, or maybe she is worthy of that promotion, or she is deserving of that relationship, then what it will do is it will adjust your external world to fit with your beliefs. Now, try to wrap your head around that. Let me give you an example. If I believe that I am not worthy of being loved and appreciated and accepted for who I am, and then I meet somebody who seems to love and accept me and appreciate me for who I am, that doesn't line up. So rather than my brain saying, look at this, maybe you actually are worthy of love and acceptance and approval, instead what it will do is it will cause you to sabotage that relationship. You'll pick a fight. You'll do something to ensure that relationship doesn't work out, because in your mind you don't believe that you're worthy or deserving of that. If you've got a belief about money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm not very good with money, or there's never enough money to pay all of the bills, and then suddenly you're making a lot of money, rather than your belief upgrading to, there's plenty of money, I can make all of the money that I want, I'm very worthy and deserving of being financially independent or financially free, what will usually happen instead is you will drain that bank account as fast as you can so that your external circumstances fit with your internal belief. So our brain is working all of the time to make sure that our inner world matches with our outer world. And if there's a disparity, it will adjust your outer world, or it will cause you to do things to change your external circumstances so that you are back with your beliefs being true. We will continue to behave in ways that confirm what we already believe to be true. So that's the second one that you need to be aware of. Now the third one, and this is one that you may not have considered, is that maybe you're just not that really keen on the goal. Have you considered that? That maybe this goal that you are saying is so important to you is actually not that important to you. Maybe it's somebody else's goal. Maybe it's what society expects of you, or your friends expect of you, or your parents expect of you, or what you think you should want, but it's actually not what you really want. So no matter how hard you try, or no matter how much you tell yourself that you're going to do this thing and achieve this thing, you just don't have the energy for it. You just don't have the motivation. You just don't have the interest, because it's actually not really an authentic, values aligned, meaningful, intrinsically motivating goal for you. Maybe it's just not your goal. Maybe you want to lose that 5 kilos because the world tells you that you need to achieve a certain body shape and a certain body type in order to be attractive and acceptable. But actually, you just really like the pizza and the wine, and you're actually kind of okay. Maybe you think that you want the relationship, but actually you're pretty comfortable. But you're not entirely comfortable to actually be honest about what you want. Maybe it's easier to continue acting as if these goals are important to you rather than telling the people around you that that's not what you want, and maybe risking their disapproval, or risking upsetting other people, or risking just not being who people expect you to be. Maybe there's something going on there where you need to come to terms with accepting yourself and owning what is real for you and what is meaningful for you, and being prepared to risk the disappointment of other people. Now, if this video has been helpful for you, you will definitely want to download my free worksheet. I've put together a worksheet that will help you really dig in and uncover for you what the limiting beliefs are, what the fears are, what it is that's going on for you, to help you to start mining for that, all of that stuff that's under the surface, so that you can actually make some changes. Until you make that stuff, that unconscious stuff, conscious to you, it will keep directing your life. There's a famous quote by Carl Jung that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You will think this is just how things are for you. This is just the way things are in your life. It's all that stuff that's running under the surface, and as soon as you bring it into your conscious awareness, then you can work with it. Then you can actually start to change some of those things. But as long as it's down below and out of your conscious awareness, it is going to keep running interference, keep getting in your way, and you will continue to be frustrated. So make sure you grab that worksheet. And by all means, come and join my free Facebook group. It's called Happiness Starts Here. I will put a link in the description below. I would love for you to come over, pop into my Facebook group, and share with me what your patterns of self-sabotage are. If you have found value in this video, please do give it a like. Absolutely subscribe to my channel. I'll be here every Tuesday with more tips, and share it with anybody you know who is frustrated with themselves, who is continually getting in their own way. We all do it, and we could all really use some help with this. So I hope that you will download the worksheet. I hope you will come and join me in my free Facebook group, and let me know what you think, and I will see you same time, same place next Tuesday.